Hello, Namaste. My name is Steve from InnerConsciousness.com. How are you today? I am putting together my very first video blog post. The reason why I'm doing this and the reason why I've started this entire website is because what I'm trying to do with my life is to break out of the mold of who I've been up until this point. Very recently I had a realization that a lot of people eventually in their life come to about who exactly it is that I am, who exactly you are, how we interconnect together. And I've come to realize that through helping myself, I can help other people, and through helping other people, I can help myself. And the best way to start helping people is to just put myself out there. Part of putting myself out there is doing things that scare the living hell out of me. This is one of them. For most of my life, I've been fearful of a lot of different things. Like a lot of people out there, I suffered from major anxiety and depression throughout the majority of my life. And I'm working on releasing all of that. And this video post and this website and my Facebook page and everything else that I'm doing in my life is taking positive steps to remove that from my life. And what I'd like to do with my life is to create an example of what someone can do when they focus their energies in very positive ways, in hopes that it can motivate some people out there to take some steps that are positive in their lives. I benefited from seeing people who are very positive, very good influences on me, not only in my personal life, but people who had written books and people who did video blogs like this, started websites, and it really motivated me to say, you know what, you're making all of these positive changes in your own life, why not share those with other people? So that's what my goal is with the InnerConsciousness.com website, with video blogs, with written blogs that I'm doing, with my Facebook page, and with people that I meet every day. I feel like the connection that we have is an amazing one in this universe. And for far too long, I suffered greatly trying to be who I thought I was supposed to be, who I thought other people thought I should be, and I was not a very happy person. And I know a lot of people out there probably feel the exact same way. They live in their minds, they live in their thought, the idea of who they're supposed to be, the thought of who they think other people see them as. I know myself, with my anxiety and depression that I went through, I spent most of my time living in my own brain. I had what the Buddhists call the monkey mind. My thoughts jumped like a monkey from tree to tree to tree. I couldn't sleep very well at night. I couldn't focus. When I would meet someone for the first time, my anxiety was at such a high level. I couldn't focus on what their name was, what they were saying to me. I spent most of my time in my own head thinking, oh, what do they think of me? What's going to happen? What if I do this? What if I do that? What if I say the wrong thing? What if I make a fool of myself? And it developed into such a problem for me that I really had a hard time functioning just in life. And it got very, very severe, and I went through some major life changes, which we won't go through here, but I'm sure at some point we will. And I had this awakening moment. I like a lot of people out there, I was introduced to a book by Eckhart Tolle called The Power of Now. I sat down and I read it, and I had just this awakening where I realized the person that I wasn't my thoughts. It wasn't the collection of the things that I had done in my life. It wasn't my name, it wasn't my body, it wasn't my hair, my beard, who I was. It wasn't even being a father, being a boyfriend, being a husband, being an ex-husband, being a graphic designer, being an Italian, being an American. It was so much more than that. And it was very much in the opposite direction of that. All of those things are physical. And what I came to realize, and even thought is physical, because thought is generated through the mind, and the mind is a physical element part of your body. So the thoughts that are produced within your mind, the way I see it is I connect that with the physical. And what I came to realize was that the more I associated who I was with the physical, with my physical body, with my physical accomplishments in life, the more I realized that I was just this miserable person. I was never good enough. I was never smart enough. I could never do the things that I really wanted to do, and I could never figure out why. And for the longest time, I couldn't put the pieces together. I did all the things I thought I was supposed to, and at the end of the day, I look back at my life, and I still wasn't happy. And when I was introduced to Eckhart Tolle's book and I read through it, I came to the realization that basically the thoughts in my head and the physical being that I am is not actually who I am. It's not actually what I am. We are all deep down inside the watcher, the viewer, the voyager within the vessel, within the machinery, within the vehicle that is our bodies, this experience in life. And this is a real thing. This is a tangible thing. This is something that I've experienced in such a way that it's really hard to explain using words, because they are very, very limiting. And they tend to lead people down the wrong path. We all have our own definitions of words. So if I say something and I use a word, I may be trying to explain something in one way. The word may mean something else to you. So you may not fully understand what I'm saying. But what I learned through this whole process, through all the suffering, through everything that I went through with anxiety and depression and the crazy monkey mind that I was living with for so long, and coming to the realization, the idea that I was no longer my thoughts, developing these techniques and abilities to become a watcher of my thoughts, to basically sit back and to create space between who I truly am and the physical being that represents who I am. By developing the techniques to experience that separation, that space between the two, I was opened up to an amazing new reality. And it is something that unless you go through it, unless you experience it yourself, it is really, really hard to explain. I can try to use words and try to explain it to you, but most of you probably won't get it. Some of you may, and if you do, that is awesome. You are in such an amazing place, and I am so happy for you, for anyone who is understanding what I'm saying. And for those of you who are not, I probably have some friends who are seeing this and going, you know, Steve has kind of lost it. You know what? I didn't lose it. I found it. I realized it. I remembered it. I had lost it in all those years where I wasn't happy. I lost it in the idea and the programming of who I thought I was and who I was supposed to be. And when I came to the realization through all of my experiences that I'm so much more than my body, I'm so much more than the experiences of my life, I'm so much more than the thoughts that are in my head, because the thoughts are so unbelievably limiting. And for me personally, those thoughts didn't motivate me to do better. They kept me down. They constantly told me that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't smart enough, and I would never accomplish the things that I wanted to accomplish. Not only would I never accomplish them, that I shouldn't even attempt them at all. And that's what brings me to this video. Because the truth of the matter is, this is something I never would have done a couple of years ago. Mostly because I would have been fearful of someone watching it and going, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, this guy is kind of crazy, this guy looks stupid on camera, whatever. 1,001 reasons that would have kept me from posting this. And it's the fact that I've been afraid to post things like this that is making me do it, because I've realized that the only way that you can capture the life, create the life that you want to create, is by getting off your ass and doing it. Take those steps, take those risks. Say screw it to fear. Just do it, you know? I know that it's a cheesy ass slogan, but it's true. If you get out, you can start to empower yourself. You can start to take positive steps in your life. The first one that I will give you is where I started, where all of this started for me, and it's a choice. It is a choice of either being negative or being positive. You can choose to live your life in a positive way. You can choose to see things in your life from a positive perspective. You can become a more positive person. You simply have to choose to do it. Once you've made that choice, you need to follow through. There's going to be a lot of temptation to be negative. My Facebook page was the first place that I started. If any of you have a Facebook page, great. It's a great way to start. Every time you find yourself going to write down a negative thought, stop, realize that you're doing it, and write down something positive. That's all you have to do. It's just that little tiny step. You don't realize how impactful things like social media, things like the media in general, things like your friends, music, movies, all of these things, if they're a negative force in your life, they are going to bring you down. They are going to keep you from experiencing the life that you want to experience. It took me a long time to realize that. Once I started to put those pieces in place, I started to look at the different things in my life, and I realized, wow, I have so much negativity around me that I really need to do something about it. So like I said, I started with my Facebook page. I started with something small. If you don't have a Facebook page, do a journal. Put together a journal of your thoughts. If you're someone like me who suffered with anxiety for a really long time, start off by journaling those negative thoughts. One thing it's going to do, it's going to open your eyes to exactly how negative your mind is. Think about having a negative coach in your life. Someone walking around 24/7 whispering in your ear, don't do that, you can't do that, you're not good enough to do that, that person doesn't like you. If you had someone doing that, you may turn around and punch him at some point, but you can't really do that because it's in your own head, and if you walk around punching yourself, you've got other problems. But if you can understand what that does to a person, if you can understand that that's what we do to ourselves, so many of us live in our own minds and feel like we tell ourselves that we can't do it. We constantly tell ourselves negative things. So start a journal, write down those negative thoughts, and then start to replace them with positive ones. Start to live a more positive life. This is all you need to do to get the ball rolling. It'll make you aware. And let me tell you something. Out of everything that I've learned, awareness is the key to it all. Inner consciousness, what that means is it's that inner awareness. It's waking up to the idea that we are so much more than just our physical bodies. We are so much more. We are not temporary. We are permanent. We are everything that is in the universe. We are the solids. We are the non-solids. We are the space between everything. It is so hard to encapsulate in a video that you put on YouTube. You really have to live it to understand it. To live it, you need to take the steps. We do live in a physical world. We do need to do things. We need to change habits. We need to create a new reality for ourselves. All of these things are possible. Trust me. 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, 40 years ago, if someone had said this to me, I might have thought they were just batshit crazy. I'm going to be honest with you. The truth is that I was the one who was crazy. I was the one living this horrible existence. And when I finally put all the pieces together, it seemed so obvious that I didn't understand how I'd never done it before. But I needed to be in the right place. I needed to be in the right frame of mind. And I needed to connect with the right people at the right time. My hope is that I'm connecting with some of you at the right time. That some of you are connecting with me at the right time. So again, my goal with all of this is to just start a dialogue, to get out there, to hopefully inspire someone, to change one tiny little thing in their life. If it's being a little bit more positive, it's taking one negative comment that you would normally make and turning it around into a positive thing, then that is a beautiful thing. So I'm starting this, I'm building this up, I'm new at this. I'm not going to apologize. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to ramble at some points. I might backtrack. That's okay. You know what? That's part of this process. I'm not going to wait until I know everything to jump in and start doing it. The truth is that we all know everything already. It's all here. It's all here. Thinking, feeling, creating. That's the game. I mean, that's what we do here. The idea is organizing the thought, getting control over what goes on here and understanding what's going on. Feeling it here, knowing what you're feeling, taking back control over what you're feeling so that you can then create it out there. And trust me, when this makes sense, you feel it here and you see it out there. You see it here. It's going to happen. It's happening for me. This has been such an amazing ride that I just can't help but share it. So hopefully if you're seeing this, if you've made it through all of my ramblings here in this very first video post, congratulations to you for putting up with me for this long. Send me some comments, ask me some questions, let's start a dialogue. If you think I'm crazy, tell me that. Say, hey, I think you're crazy. And I'm going to say, you know what? Perfect. Beautiful, thank you. I love the feedback because I am a little bit crazy. And that is an awesome thing. We should all be a little bit more crazy in our lives. Maybe we'd all be a little bit more happy. So comment through the Facebook, through YouTube, however you want. Direct message me, Sanskrit, smoke signals, whatever you think you can get a message to me, a question, a thought. Encouragement is always a beautiful thing. I love getting encouragement. Again, this is something that I'm doing for the first time, and I'm really trying to get it out there. And let's just see what happens, you know. We can all do this. We can all help each other. You know, we're all in it together, and it's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to wrap up now. This is my first video. It will not be my last. Follow this channel. Like the Facebook page. I do a lot of comments, a lot of communication that way, a lot of quick things. I'm going to do some more stuff here. I'll put together some more specific things based on any feedback that I get. And let's start the conversation and help each other out. Hope you all have an amazing day wherever you are, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Namaste.